Alright, here it goes. Time to make this video. Phoenix. If you've ever watched my stream, you know I've gone on and on about this hero. I figured I would just go ahead and make a tutorial video or a hero review uh, for a couple reasons. One, because it's right now in the event. You can buy her for 8,000 gems. So people are wondering if I have no copies, is it worth buying? If I only have two, is it worth buying? Etc., etc., etc. Is it worth using at 5 star? Is it worth using at 6 star, 9 star, all that kind of stuff? And I will go over all that, but there are a lot of questions around this hero. And the main reason is because everyone is getting copies. Like Phoenix seems to be one of the most common new heroes that's ever been released, which is crazy because let's go ahead and go to the title. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say it's the best hero in the game, right? And you guys probably don't need too much convincing about that, because just like even a new player can go through, look at the hero skills, and be like, wait a second, this guy seems OP. And they're right. This hero is really, really strong. Phoenix is definitely the best hero in the game. And so this video, I'm going to be talking about why. And I really want to break down why because it does have some weaknesses, and it's not Saw Machine. Wherever you heard that, it's not Saw Machine. But there are some things that you want to use Phoenix the right way. So I'll talk about that. Let's get into it. It should be interesting. Yeah, why is Phoenix the best hero in the game? So let's start with the easy one. It's because Phoenix is a cleric. What this means is, as a cleric, they get 100 speed from Guild Tech, making Phoenix like the fourth fastest character in the game, behind Ultima, Drow, and Shudmel. And that makes Phoenix able to outspeed anyone besides those. I mean, Phoenix will cast I'll say his skill before they do. So that's always a bonus. Cleric is probably the best class in the game for that reason alone. Speed is so important in PvP. Don't really need to talk about that too much. Also, they have dodge, which is really nice. Let's go into the second one. So the second one is a revive, and the reason I put revive as being such like a strong strength to Phoenix is because if you look at the other heroes that have revives, Monkey King, Mars, uh, now Phoenix, and I think I'm forgetting one. I think it's about it. Monkey King and Mars. I'm sure I'm forgetting someone, but the heroes with revives are able to almost clutch out some battles, and that's always really cool. They're supposed to remove CC when they revive. They drop any poison stacks or burns or anything like that. So also, any attack buff that another hero gets or they get from a hero dying, a friendly hero dying, that happens so that you're giving Reaper extra damage, all that kind of stuff. So revives are always good. Let's go ahead and move on. I'm gonna make this a quick video. It's really obvious Phoenix is the best. Uh, the third one, CC. So for any hero to be top tier, the one they either have to have insane damage or healing, like off the charts. But if they don't have that, they have to bring CC. The CC means crowd control. And in TapTap heroes, crowd control is focused on petrifies, stuns, silences, and freezes. These these basically just make it so a hero can't cast their skill or is unable to basic attack, and that's awesome for PvP. Like now they're useless if they're stunned unless they're a tank. So Phoenix has that, and let's go ahead and look at this. You know, I should have been looking at this before, but when Phoenix dies, gets revived. But also when Phoenix dies, there's a 50% chance to stun all enemies for 2 rounds. This can only happen one time, thankfully. But 50% chance to stun. All right, 50% chance is pretty good. Like if you look at Tesla, Tesla has that on his death. It's like 48% chance, but it's only to backline enemies. For some reason, Phoenix has it on every enemy, a 2 round stun. That is, you're bound to get it on someone. I've played with Phoenix quite a bit now, and it usually hits 2 or 3 people if everyone's left alive. So it's about right, statistically, 50%, right? So that's really, really strong. There's the revive in there. It comes back with 77% HP. And supposed to remove all control effects from the body, meaning gets out of the CC. So after they revive, they can cast their skill no problem. I've heard that's not the case, but I haven't actually seen it. And then let's go ahead and move on to the fourth one then. But that stun is awesome. The fourth one, it's a debuff, and the debuff I'm talking about is in the main skill. It has a 77% chance, which is really high, to reduce enemy defense by 10 for 3 rounds. 10 defense is basically bringing anyone who's not a tank into that true damage range, meaning they're not getting any mitigation from damage from all attacks now. They're losing all the defense, which means your heroes are doing like if you did the math to see how much damage a hero would do, like 180% of like 20,000 attack, that number that you calculate would actually do that damage to that hero. Normally that's not the case because defense goes in there and it mitigates some of that damage, right? Or it reduces some of that damage. But with Phoenix on your team, you can just go ahead and hit true damage to everyone. That's not like a big tank like Minotaur or King Lionheart, which aren't even in the meta. Ooh, deep breath. All right, let's go. The next one, damage boost, and this is probably Phoenix's the reason Phoenix is so strong. Um, Besides all that, this is what people kind of slept on a little bit, but what I've noticed is becoming uh, Phoenix's biggest strength. I'd actually say this is Phoenix's biggest strength. Um, when Phoenix is alive, allies deal extra damage, 30% of Phoenix's attack to the to burning enemies. This is awesome. Because when Phoenix has his skill, it deals extra burn damage each round for 3 rounds to everyone, all enemies. Remember, he's hitting everyone for 100% of attack, and he's burning them. I have noticed, and if you guys have 10-star Phoenix and you've been using it, I've noticed this is true that Phoenix skill kind of gets dodged very often. But either way, Phoenix still ends up burning most everyone. But I've noticed that the dodge chance, the rate of hit, it seems really low on that skill for some reason. Also, his basic attacks inflict burning, so the enemy team will be burning. And this means that your whole team is going to be doing 30% of Phoenix's attack on top of the burning enemies. That's a lot of extra damage. Phoenix has to be alive, and you'll see later that Phoenix is almost always alive. And this is huge. This makes damage heroes viable again. Like I've seen Phoenix use an AOE burn and then Nameless King just one shot entire teams if he gets his like marker to go off and casts his skill and hits everyone. Pretty crazy, guys. So let's move on to the next one. The energy boost. Phoenix has a built-in Tear of the Goddess basically in his kit. So after casting Phoenix's skill, adds 100 energy to one random ally. It is random, which it's not that great, but I mean it doesn't matter because this means that say Phoenix has Tear of the Goddess and goes first because Phoenix is really really fast. Phoenix has the potential to cast its skill, apply a burn to everyone, and let's use Nameless King as an example. The Nameless King, who doesn't have Tear of the Goddess, say he has Holy Light Justice, a really strong damage artifact, uh, gives gives Nameless King on the first turn, Nameless King will get 100 energy and cast his skill on the first turn. Now you're talking about just crazy damage on the first turn. And I use Nameless King for damage because it like kind of goes well with Phoenix's burn. But this can be said for like Luna, so AoE silences, potentially Freya for AoE petrify. You can CC people's entire teams on the first turn because Phoenix is basically giving another hero the ability to cast their skill. That's really strong. That's really, really good. Chesia would be crazy, but I've tried it and there's not enough. It's just too much chance involved with the random ally being Chesia. Also, Phoenix can give it to himself. I've seen that. Like, if Phoenix is the only one left alive, he counts as a random ally. So Phoenix will just every turn cast his skill. That's crazy. Okay. So I've talked about Tear of the Goddess basically, and then the last one I have, which is the smallest one, is that he gets a heal. It's not as big as Drow or Shenmel's heal, no, or Valkyrie's. It's not a huge heal, but it's pretty good. Heals all allies HP 77% of attack for 5 rounds after he dies. I just had to add it because how I want to wrap up the video is basically telling you this is a cleric that has seven. No, let's see, one, two, three, four, five, like six. six different kits in the same hero. Like a revive, that's Monkey King's thing. Like all he can really do is tank and revive, and now he does pretty good damage. But that's like his gimmick. CC stun, like this is Tesla. Tesla has the death stun, the same exact skill. Phoenix has that in his fourth skill, has the Monkey King and the Tesla ability. The debuff, no one has that. This is just crazy. The being able that's like Phoenix's thing is to burn people, and basically when they're burning, they're hurt. They're like taking extra damage. All right, I'll give you Phoenix. That's what you can do. Let's hear. Um, the damage boost. Sorry, I messed up the defense debuff with the damage boost. So the burning is right. I will give you that. And then Phoenix with his main skill is debuffing the enemy's like removing defense, giving everyone armor break. Think about it that way. That's also kind of unique. I'm fine with Phoenix having that. I don't want to get into how I would balance Phoenix. That can be a different video if people are interested. And then the energy boost. The energy boost is just ridiculous. Like, Tear of the Goddess came out and people thought that was broken. I mean, Phoenix has a built-in Tear of the Goddess on a skill that already does damage and reduces defense and increases his attack. And then he has a heal. That's the funny part is that at the end of the day, he has a heal because Ultima is also a cleric, right? Ultima debuffs and buffs. Give him that. But but no, Phoenix isn't Ultima. Phoenix isn't just a debuff and a buffer. Phoenix is a healer, a damage dealer, a debuff, a buffer, a stunner. This is like everything you need. The only thing, and this is Phoenix's weakness, and this is where you could argue that there's a better hero than Phoenix. The only thing Phoenix doesn't bring is damage himself. Like Phoenix's damage is not that great. Even with that 30% extra, his 100% damage to every enemy, it really doesn't do as much as the mages and the other clerics actually and the warriors who we see hitting people for like 300k per attack, which is crazy. Phoenix doesn't have that, but that's even without having damage. Most people, if you have a Phoenix, you have other heroes. I shouldn't say that because now people are getting Phoenix like I've seen people who their first 5 stars is Phoenix. The first hero they can even get to 9 stars is Phoenix because they somehow got 3 copies of that hero and no other ones because Phoenix seems to be that common. They've also given Phoenix out for multiple rewards, more than any other new hero. Phoenix has been a reward for keys, from Miracle Eyes, from Secret Treasure, from Easter event. That's 4 copies. All you had to do is get lucky one time, and from a convert, which seems very common to get Phoenix from converts. And you have 5 copies of Phoenix, you can 10-star him. Sorry, I shouldn't have ranted about that, but just had to mention it anyway. My point is that Phoenix, uh, while 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 is common, most people who have a 10-star Phoenix already have damage dealers. And what Phoenix does, it turns a hero like Reaper, no, let's use a hero like Verthandi, who does a little bit of damage and a little bit of healing. Now, or and good amount of healing. Now Verthandi does really good damage and really good healing. Like Phoenix turns other heroes into almost a hero and a half. So your team is basically a half a hero stronger for each one that you have that's not Phoenix, right? And that's what makes Phoenix the best hero in the game is that he buffs and your whole team so much and debuffs the enemy team so much that if they don't have a Phoenix, it's not a fair fight anymore. That's what makes Phoenix OP. Uh, I'm not going to talk about this hero, but the person or the hero that would be up next in like the argument for the best hero in the game would be Valkyrie. And the reason for that is Valkyrie actually does insane damage and has insane healing. The two things that Phoenix really doesn't bring, Valkyrie covers. So having these two heroes on your team is a guaranteed like top tier team. So, real quick before I end the video, I'm going to talk about is Phoenix worth it at 9-star? Yes, I think at Phoenix 9-star is probably better than Medusa 10-star. That's probably really close, but Phoenix 9-star is definitely better than Scarlet 10-star, Bloodtooth 10-star, and any of the lower tier heroes at 10-star. Horde specifically, sorry. Because most of the time you're substituting in a Horde hero for Phoenix because of Unity Aura. Is Phoenix worth it at 5-star? Yeah, at 5-star, Phoenix is actually still really strong. I do think Drow might be stronger at 5-star. I'm not really too sure about the early game. If you have questions about that, there are people on my Discord that know the early game really well because we've been doing tournament server. So you can go ahead and ask them. But Phoenix is good at 5-star, amazing at 6 through 9, and at 10 the best hero in the game. So that's my review of Phoenix. It's actually kind of basic. I didn't really come out with anything game breaking. I guess I should point out that Phoenix can tank, and Phoenix is also a good user of Tear of the Goddess. Uh, Flexible in position. Say you have someone like Ultima who can only tank, no problem. Phoenix is great in another position. Phoenix doesn't have to tank. Phoenix is just good as a tank. Also, Phoenix without Tear of the Goddess is still good. Doesn't need it. Not like Freya, not like Mars. Phoenix without Tear of the Goddess is still a great hero. You can make her even faster to cast her burn earlier, which works really well with damage heroes. So I think I covered everything. If you have any more questions about Phoenix, or if you want to see her in action, him in action, I've gone back and forth because I think it's a guy. But watch my stream because I have Phoenix on my team and I use him. He's definitely the best hero on my team. So thanks for watching, guys. Talk to you later.